Hey, what's going on guys? It's Bunkovai here for MMOBomb.com, and today I'm going to do a first impression gameplay video for Ragnarok Online 2, a 3D anime-inspired MMORPG published by Ragnarok Online and created by Gravity, which you guys may be familiar with already because they created the original Ragnarok Online. Now, I'm going to spend about 15-20 minutes or so checking the game out, making my usual style of commentary. If you guys want to know more about the game, I highly suggest you check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full game profile. So to start off with here, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the character creation screen, and then we're just going to jump into a character I've already created. So, if you guys are familiar with the original Ragnarok Online, you'll notice that there are a total of 5 classes. Now, in Ragnarok Online, the original, there were 6 classes, including the Merchant class, which of course has been omitted in Ragnarok Online 2. The Merchant class has already been kind of implemented into the pre-existing classes, the other 5, in that you can actually log out of the game as a merchant, where you'll be able to sell things as an NPC to other players and actually accrue money while you're offline. Similar to the system currently available in Aeon, where basically you set up a shop and you sit somewhere and then you just advertise to people who walk by. Now, the other classes themselves all deviate at level 25 into different subclasses. So, for example, the Swordsman has access to the Warrior or Knight class at level 25. The Acolyte can become a Priest or a Monk, and the Archer can become a Ranger or Beastmaster. Now, as far as the professions go, you actually choose your profession before you start the game. So, I can choose to be a chef, an alchemist, a blacksmith, or an artisan. And these classes create their respective, gear. They can create weapons, they can create potions or food that you can use for buffs, etc. And I like the fact that they have their own kind of like art styles as well. They get their own clothing while you do it. Appearance-wise, you do have the typical options you would expect for an anime-style MMORPG. We have hairstyle, hair color, face style. It does have a nice addition of voice style. So you actually have 5 different voices to choose from, which are basically the emotes or the grunts that your character will make. They sound a little bit Korean. And then you have the eye style as well, which allows you to create, cat-like eyes or whatever else your anime style fancies. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just back out of this really quickly here and go ahead and jump directly into the game on my character. Now, I should say that Asiasoft only intends for this game to be available in SEA countries. And what I mean by that is, the game was originally marketed as an open beta global game, meaning that anybody can play it, and it still holds that it holds that standard essentially that anybody can play the game essentially. But originally, right before it was released into open beta, they did mention that the game was intended for just a certain small subset of the Asian market, specifically Thailand, Vietnam, countries like that in that area here. So anybody that's able to access the game outside of that area isn't technically allowed to. Although I'm able to access the game right now without any sort of IP block. There may be an IP block though in the future. So if you're watching this in the future, months down the line, maybe a reason why you can't access the game is because there's been one implemented. But as for now, anybody can pretty much access the game, no problem. Now, when it comes to combat itself, this right here is my rogue class, and as you would expect, a rogue behaves in this game like a typical rogue. You have, of course, your ability to go invisible, stealth around, you have a blink strike, etc. So you have interesting little mechanics. The actual looks themselves, let's go ahead and buff myself up. The actual spell mechanics or the spell visuals are actually quite nice. They're done fairly well, and the game certainly has a nice appealing factor to it. Now, hopefully this guy doesn't kill me. Last time he did kill me. Alright, so as you would expect with a typical rogue side class, you're going to have access to a lot of variety of basically, stabby mechanics. You also have this little skill tree here, or sorry, this little combo tree, which allows you to do combo mechanics to build up a meter, which you can do more powerful attacks. Now, if anything I've learned is that these little boss monsters, they're basically mini bosses here, they're quite difficult to kill, and oftentimes, no matter what class, you're going to be spamming those potions that you get through the different little quests that you actually pursue and do. But as you can see, there's no dodge mechanic, there's no quick moving. It is very much a hotkey style MMO, a very traditional hotkey MMO, which, if I'm going to say some things outright very early on, you're going to be playing this game for a couple reasons. The developers know this. You're either playing this because you like anime MMOs, or you have some kind of nostalgia trip with Ragnarok Online, which is compelling you to play the game. And in the respect of like cosmetically speaking, the game is not. Ooh, right hand dagger. How well is this? Is this any better? No, it doesn't have any kind of stats. My dagger is better right now. And we got our bags full, looks like, so we will have to actually purchase, or rather sell, some stuff. So let's go back and turn these quests in. I like the fact that you can have this, like, you know, clear, and I can move the map around, so I can have like this overview map without actually seeing anything. You're also able to customize your UI, so I can have my things up here. I can also have that down here if I wish to, but I prefer this kind of like triangle system right now. Other than this, yeah, like I was saying, the gameplay itself is very standard, and you shouldn't expect any kind of groundbreaking gameplay at all. But if you're okay with the familiar, you know, style and mechanics, the game itself is not that bad. You know, it does offer interesting storylines, you know, really cute little characters that you fight and attack, nice spell effects, etc. If anything, right now, there's been some lag issues with the game, but that's something more to fault with the publisher, Agersoft, and rather not the game itself. So let's go ahead and move up. Now, the card system has also made a return. If you notice, I have a couple cards in my bag, and if I actually, did I level up? I guess I did level up earlier. So once you do level up, you're able to put stat points independently into certain trees. So for example, I've got 3 remaining stat points, and I need at least 2 to put another point in these areas. So what I've been doing right now is just focusing primarily on strength and agility, because those give me the biggest bonuses to my attack. You notice all the stats right here, etc. Now, one thing I should bring up is the fact that you can view your cards. Now, the way the card system works in this game versus the other game is you collect cards like before, but the cards aren't bound to specific items. Instead, they're bound to your character. And what that means is as you level up, you'll be putting up to 5 different cards in your character slots, allowing you to get different kind of like buffs, etc. Now, what is going on here? I keep talking to this potion here. What's going on? Extermination of the Unknown. Looks like I'll get some nice pants if I do this. So let's go ahead and accept that quest. It looks like I gotta get rid of unidentified monsters. So you can kind of see them over there. Now, if I hit P, this brings up my card system here. And you'll see this is my card catalog. And I'm able to put cards I have accrued from killing monsters and the monsters dropping them in here. Now these cards I'm able to slot into my character slot by hitting C and go into card here. But as you can see, I only have 1 currently available. These will unlock at later levels. The cards themselves, of course, give you bonuses, and it even shows you which cards you've obtained, so you can actually track which cards you've collected. So it does have the nice collecting mechanics to that. Now outside of this, there's another way to actually get a bonus stats, and that is through the title system. So you notice it calls me a pouring hunter right here, and that's because I've killed a various amount of pourings. Now this kind of goes into a kind of sub-challenge / quest system, which gives you titles based on what you've been doing. A small firefly, huh? I'm not going to pick that up right now. So what I'll show you guys after I kill these is basically the challenge system, which awards you experience. It also awards you these titles which I've been speaking of. But yeah, combat wise, very typical. You're going to be doing a couple combo systems and then killing a target. Spell effects though, not bad at all. And I mean, if you look at the game itself, it does look fairly pretty. You know, it's not really hard on the eyes at all. Split piece. Now these split pieces are apparently something that you can combine together to create a special reward, but I have not yet met the individual that I am supposed to give those to. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw away all these extra items that I don't need. You can sell them, of course, but I am just throwing them away right now because why not? I need room. I gotta put stuff away. Small fireflies, eh. Depending on which monsters you kill, so in this case I'm a chef, you will be able to just randomly pick up items from them, kind of like collect items from them, to allow you to create, you know, chef or whatever item your profession does. If you notice down here in the experience bar, there's 2 separate bars. One bar on the right, this is to denote your profession experience, and the bar on the left is, of course, your standard experience, you know, your level experience. Let's go ahead and click that to pick that up, and I'll go ahead and kill this last identified monster. My attacks right now is basically this is the standard rogue attacks where you build combo points by hitting double attack here, and then you can use deadly blow to use all those combo attacks. I also have the ability, of course, to go invisible and kind of teleport behind someone, as well as put an entire buff on my team, or my party rather. I should mention that because these servers are based in SEA, the Southeastern Asia group area, there is sometimes some lag, and particularly any ability that actually teleports you to an enemy or away from an enemy does present itself a little bit of a hitch. So for example, if I go over here and I actually use my teleportation skill, you'll notice there's a little bit of a hitch or a lull between the time I actually hit it and then my character going there and then attacking. It's not instantly. Typically speaking, when you're looking at other characters, you don't see them do that, but you will experience it on your own. Alright, so let's kill another one of those guys just for another, shits and giggles and whatnot. And let's go ahead and come back over here. Now here, if I hit J, I can actually show you the crafting thing. So right now I'm only able to craft 2 different items, and the edible jalopy typically drops off of like pori. Sweet sauce is something that you can actually buy. I believe you can also craft it as well. So by hitting J, I can bring that up, and at any time, depending on where I am, I can just go ahead and start crafting stuff, which is nice. It's not limited to a certain area, and you don't have to collect pre-existing materials just to craft, which is really an awesome feature. Alright, so I've got to talk to this guy, wherever that guy is on the map. Flying transportation, card master, cave of riddles. Where are you? Talk to Folio. I guess I should read this. Search the follow inside the Waterfall Caves. Alright, so where are the Waterfall Caves? Well, there's a waterfall. One would assume caves are in there. So let's go ahead and jump in there. Alrighty here. By bringing up L, we can of course see what current quest I'm on, the social emoticons, etc. So let's go ahead into this, I'm assuming, into a small little dungeon area. Ah, hello, Faulo. So there are these little dungeon-esque areas which actually bring you into smaller subset areas to perform things like quests, etc. Search for the student in the cave. Yes. Block the endless flow of fierce cave monsters and report back to Faulo. Alright, Faulo. Let's do this. Alright, so let's come in here. Looks like I need to get rid of ruthless cave bandits. 5 of them in total. So let's go ahead and teleport around. Now I do have a, oops, looks like that wasn't the ability I wanted to do. 5 rather. So I do have an AoE ability, but typically speaking, the AoE abilities themselves, unless you are a tank, you don't want to be using them because they will do quite a lot of damage to you really quickly, especially if you're fighting like a super unit or a super monster, kind of like those mini-boss, that mini-boss little hornet thing I was fighting earlier. Overall, would I play this game all the time? No, I wouldn't actually. This game would have been good if it came out, say, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But with all the different gameplay mechanics that we've been introduced to so recently, with active action, combat, etc., there's no real reason to play this game other than the simple fact that you like Ragnarok Online's universe and you like anime style MMOs. And from those perspective, from a Ragnarok Online universe perspective, and from a I need to eat up a little bit, and from an anime perspective, it is a good MMO. Very crisp, clean graphics, good storyline. And Ragnarok Online, of course, which you're not limited to playing in 2D. And I know some people don't like the fact that it's a 3D MMO because then it makes it like any other 3D MMO. But I wouldn't fault people for wanting a 3D version of Ragnarok Online. Certainly 2D graphics, in the case of MMOs, is very dated. There are some games that really do well as 2D games, but I don't think MMOs should stay 2D. That's more of a kind of like nostalgia, personal preference. Alright, so let's come over here. Now I could show you guys by hitting T. These are the current available skill systems available. They each have independent levels, so you can level them up to gain access to usually lower cooldowns as well as higher damage. And then below this, these are the 2 separate skill systems or skill point trees, depending on if you go assassin or rogue. So assassin here looks like the typical sort of DPS for PvE, while the rogue class looks a little bit more like a PvP. So again, something that you'd be very much familiar with if you played something like World of Warcraft. No real innovation when it comes to, let's see here, darkness when then departs. Investigate the purple orb. Alright. So no real innovation. And again, these guys don't attack you either. So it's kind of like you just walk right through and just like herp drip or whatever. Kind of, breaks the immersion just a tad. Alright, so let's go ahead and interact with this thing and see what's going on. And I've investigated the purple orb. Whoa, what's going on? I'm getting teleported. What? What is this place? So it looks like I'm in some kind of like ghost thing. Alright, so let's go ahead and accept the reward. Trauma. In the deepest place of your heart, a horrible memory in the abyss where you cannot look into. Now you have to destroy the shackles that you made. Cheer up and move forward. Bless you in the grace of Odin. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go invisible here. I'll teleport over this guy here. We'll see how much damage. Man, that was pretty good damage there. There has been quite a lot of players. You know, people fearing that there won't be enough players should not worry at all. The servers are always full, it seems like. There's always a ton of people playing. So you're always going to have people to play with, and they're always communicating. And despite the game being SEA, the game it is an English version of Ragnarok Online, which means that it will have English audiences. So you're never going to have a problem with playing this game with people that are foreign. There will always be people that speak English in it. Again, it just comes down to the fact that A, this game isn't supposed to be able to play in different countries outside of the region specified earlier, and B, would you play something like this because it seems so dated in the respect that the mechanics are very dated. I mean, even action MMOs such as like C9, which may be like instance-based, do have a little bit more action-oriented combat. In terms of, ooh, some delicious delicacies. Increased attack speed. I will pick that up very much. In terms of in-game, there are currently 5-man and 10-man dungeons. Oh, these guys are attacking me. Alright. So it looks like you do get occasionally areas that attack you. Maybe in the open overworld area, they don't attack you. But certainly in the dungeons they do. Which is a little bit immersive breaking, honestly. I mean, you would think that anything with a red bar is bad, and thusly should be treated as something that was going to attack you. You know, it certainly breaks the immersive feeling by just running around mobs that don't attack you, but look very daunting in themselves. Alright, so it looks like I have to go to the Store Memories. Lots of dungeons in RO2 awaiting your challenge. Instance Dungeon is a very independent adventure place for you and your party members. Only the same party members can play in here. Note that some dungeons have number limitations. So this is, of course, one of the early dungeons. It seems like a storyline dungeon. Ragnarok Online 2 seems very much a story-based MMORPG, where there's this ongoing story that you're always participating in, talking to different individuals about, and kind of furthering the story. At the time, when you start the game, there's not really any bad things going on, I guess you could say. There is, you were an orphan, and you basically have been raised to do battle against the forces of evil. So it's a very typical starting out story. And honestly, I didn't play the original Ragnarok Online, so I don't know how much of it is a continuation from the original Ragnarok Online story. Alright, so it looks like if I get these, I can simply... Ooh, it looks like I can pick this book up. So let's go ahead and pick it up. And am I able to pick this book up invisible? That is awesome. That is so overpowered. Like, I just go around here like collecting everything, no problem. Alright, so let's come back over here real quickly. Just stealth over him. I do like the UI interface. You know, your ability to see your bags right here very easily, so you can go all the way up to 4 bags. Remember? Paint from memory. Alright, there we go. And look, I have leveled up now. So it's got some nice music as well. I don't know if you heard some of the early login music when we were just sitting on the character creation screen, but it has a nice ambient music to it. Let's go ahead and put a point into something here. Now I put a couple points into this so I can get down to poisoning weapon, which would allow me to, of course, poison my weapons. It is a buff that I apply, and I will need to go ahead and add another bar so that I can actually put something else on here. Alright, so let's go ahead and poison my weapons here. So I've gone ahead and done that, so I should be able to do poisoning damage to my enemies for a total of 39 minutes. The other buff here gives me additional critical strike. I mean, look at me. I'm just like destroying this guy, although I'm missing quite a lot. Alright, come on. It is the amount of lag, or the hitching, I guess, is least noticeable if you're a melee fighter. So if you really hate, you know, that really weird, because if you notice, if I pull away here, he'll be able to do damage to me before he actually touching me, although it's less noticeable in here. In fact, it's not really noticeable at all in here. I think partly because of the fact this is a personal instance, but at least in the overworld, it's much more noticeable, because when you run away, they'll be able to hit you from, like, you know, 5 feet away or something like that, which is a little bit annoying. Alright, so let's come in here. We'll go ahead and pick up the horrible memory. and then continue on. Now, what else am I not bringing up? Oh yes, alright, so if we go here real quickly, we should show you guys the challenge aspect. Now, the challenge aspect, if I can bring this up correctly, there it goes. This window here essentially allows you to track certain titles. So this is the title window, and depending on which titles you've cleared, you can see that they are available over here to the right. So these are already available here. Now if I click on one of these titles, if I've actually completed the total number of actions, I can click the title and actually accrue whatever bonuses it has. Also, you'll notice that if I get like all of these in a row, I get some sort of extra bonus. So it kind of gives you something to do on top of like typical questing. You can kind of try to do these challenges themselves. A lot of them are kind of like, you know, get level 5, combat level 5 achieved. So I can hit that challenge, and that should actually spin those points. And as you can see, I now have an additional novice title to actually spin. You'll notice I have 25 points up here to spin, and you basically spin these points on whatever. No, I haven't reached level 10. You basically spin these points on whatever you've unlocked at that point. Some of them need point spins, it looks like. Other ones do not. Other ones look like they just simply give it to you after you've completed it. Like the Pouring Hunter one, it was just after I killed a certain amount of pourings of different types. So it looks like we actually do have a boss here, Memory of Terror. He's pretty cool looking, I have to say. Let's go ahead and see how well we can do. I got all my buffs up, everything's up. I got my potions. Any more powerful potions here? This one combined red, blue herbs, 50 and 30 HP. This one is 70. Alright. So let's go ahead and put these right above just in case I run out. And we'll see how well we do, guys. Alright, let's start this. Alright. So again, the atmosphere, the actual graphics themselves, I have nothing to complain about the game. What I do just not like is the fact that the game is a very, very, you know, typical MMORPG. You know, they're not going to have any kind of crazy new experiences. You're going to have the same experiences that you've had before, but in a new area, a new setting, new graphics, and new spell effects. Some people don't care about that, but for me, no, I'm going to want to have some sort of game where I have to consistently move around and do different things other than just sitting here and mashing 2 and 3 on my keyboard non-stop, waiting for this bar to go up. Now obviously this is lower levels, so of course at higher levels I'll have more buttons to mash, but it's still the same aspect where I'm just sitting in one spot, maybe moving out of an AoE fire or something like that. But I mean, it's 2013 at this point, you know, we need to move past MMOs like this. Regardless of, you know, who may be behind them, who may be creating the MMO, the mechanics themselves are just very old and antiquated. Alright, let's kill this guy. Memory of Terror. You have pretty awesome things, but I have killed you now. And you're down. That was pretty awesome. It kind of reminds me of like the old PS2 bosses you would fight from old JRPGs. And what do you have? You have a pocket watch. Elegant looking sliver pocket watch that is slightly old. Should it be silver pocket watch, not sliver? I don't know. The translation may be a little bit off on that. Alright. Let's go ahead and complete that, and I can select my reward after I have gotten out of here. So I've got to escape. Alrighty here. Go ahead and get this. And I'll select my reward. And it looks like I'll be able to get a new chest, or a new chest shirt, basically, after doing that. Now I was supposed to read this diary in there, but I didn't. But oh well. Let's go ahead and jump out of here real quick. I'll get my new item. Hopefully it makes me look a little different, and we'll see. But it's got some really nice artwork in here, and definitely if you're a fan of the original Ragnarok, I would say check it out. You know, if you enjoy you know, if you don't care about the mechanics so much, but you definitely enjoy the universe, the art aspect of it, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with the MMO. It's a little bit of a pain to set up and actually install because it takes so long to install. But overall, the game, once you actually start it, it pretty much goes without a hitch after that point. Alright, so this is also an improvement. Alright, so it looks like I actually do look a little different now, finally. But yeah, level 10 is when I can actually start putting more cards into my slots. Until now, if I want to put in additional ones, I actually have to overwrite them. Oh, I got some jalopy now. I have to overwrite them simply by like dropping it in there. And of course, I have more points to spend over here, so I will put these into agility. I'm just going to put 2 into agility right there and apply that, and now I'm up to 5 agility, extra agility, which is awesome. But alright guys, looks like I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I should mention the mounts. So you can get mounts in the game. They are not available to me yet. I actually do not know at what level they are, but eventually you go purchase a mount, and then you can mount it at any time, run around on it. You can't actually do any kind of combat on the mount, nothing like that. It does have certain skills, they look like, but I haven't been able to really find out tons of information about that. Trained a spiritual creature, the white tiger, to become a speedy mount. So these are all various speed mount based. A noble Pecco. That reminds me of Chocobo. And then you got this crazy lion. I don't know. Anyways. Alright, let's turn this quest here because you're right here. Why not? And what's a win elixir? Increase movement speed. Yes, please. I want. Get explanation from Denbrin in front of the waterfall. Why does it say I can turn it in then? Oh well, whatever. Alright guys, I will show you guys the one final thing that I find interesting here real quickly if I can do so. You do have a lot of emoticons to choose from, and like always I love to do emoticons to end my first impressions. So I go ahead and angry. That's how to do showing here, /angry. So if I do /angry, well, can't do it right there, it looks like. Alright, let's go ahead and pull up these just a little bit. Let's put that one right there. I can be surprised. Pick nose, yes. And I can do, of course, the V sign, which every Korean knows, apparently. And where's my dances? Despair. That looks a little bit like I'm ready to get like slapped in the butt or something. Alright, here. Let's go ahead and go with those. So, oh, there's a dance at the bottom. Alright, so this is how to show angry. Be surprised. Pick nose. There we go. That's all ended there. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my first impression gameplay video of Ragnarok Online 2. Again, if you guys want to learn more about the game, I highly suggest. I have a huge hand in terms of my nose. You see that? Look at my finger. It's like, cram that right up in the nose. If you guys want to learn more about the game, I highly suggest you check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full game profile. This has been Spunkify. I'll see you guys next time. Spunkify out. Later guys.